Hey everyone, I'm Mila, I'm a type 1 diabetic, and today we're going to be talking about why COVID-19 scares me so much. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, so I know this is probably going to be a little bit of a heavier video, and I apologize that this is just the second video I'm posting, but I really feel like it's something that I should talk about, so years down the line, I'll be able to say, oh, here's how I was thinking and feeling during that time, because it was kind of, it's a lot right now. The world is just kind of crazy, and I want to be able to record my thoughts and opinions and feelings and all that kind of stuff, because I'm not really a journaler, so this will probably be easier for me to, look back on. First of all, in this little, the actual content message, whatever, of this video, I want to address people who don't think COVID-19 is real. Go read something from the CDC about it. The CDC is the Centers for Disease Control. They are national and worldwide leaders in controlling disease outbreaks. That's what they do. That's their job. And because of politics, essentially, they're not able to do their job as effectively as they normally would be able to. So please read something from them. They would have literally, about Corona, they would have literally no reason. The day I wrote the outline for this video, it was July 19th, there were over 3 million cases in the United States, and more than 74,000 of those were new cases. That being from between the 17th and the 18th of July, there were 74,000 new cases. The page where I got that information from was updated on the 18th, and it will be cited down below, along with any of the other sources that I use in this video. That's a lot of sick people, and I'm sure that's not everyone, because a lot of people don't have symptoms, so they might not get tested, or maybe they think they just have allergies or something, so they don't get tested because, if there's a test shortage, why would they use one when they don't think they have it? And there's some people who still don't think that this disease is real. So from that, I think it's fair to say that, some people are still living, itchy nose. I think it's fair to say that some people are still living life as normally as they can right now, because either they don't think it's real, or they, aren't in the hospital, so they think, oh, I'm fine, it's fine. It's just allergies. And they could be giving it to someone unknowingly, especially if they're not wearing a mask. As someone who is at risk, 3 ways I'm at risk in 3 different categories. As you all know, I'm a type 1 diabetic. I also have severe asthma, and one of the medications I take for my asthma limits my immune system, because my immune system contributes to me having asthma issues. So I'm on a medicine that, limits it. That means, in my opinion, I have full authority to say that I would probably not do so well if I got the virus. Because, my body doesn't really like to cooperate with me, and aside from me being fairly young and fairly healthy, aside from my chronic illnesses, I'm kind of sick all the time. So yeah, that makes me extremely nervous as someone who could be offed by this thing that no one seems to be worried about it anymore. Schools are opening them up. The NBA, I think last I heard, was, functioning as normally as they can. Of course, they're all in a bubble down in Florida, but, still they're playing contact sport? Yeah, not basketball. I think basketball is a contact sport. Anyway, they're playing a sport where they'll be breathing heavily all over each other, and they don't, it's frustrating, to say the least, that there's no national, everyone stop what you're doing and let's get over this. There's nothing like that. I feel like, in fact, it's quite the opposite, where it's like, oh, you think that's a real thing? Well, you're silly. Let's just move on, And I think that's kind of sad. So from those pieces of information, I am at risk, very at risk, and the executive branch of my national government does not seem to care in the least that I could die. And because of that, there are an unknown amount of people walking around who have this disease, have no symptoms of it, and could potentially infect me or someone I come in contact with, and then they would give it to me. You see why that's kind of scary? Because I could have no say, and in a week I could be lying in a hospital on a ventilator and they're about to pull the plug because it's not worth it. The masks are to protect other people, and I know that's a weird concept that we don't wear something to protect ourselves, but the mask is a way to show support and solidarity, sort of, and protect those around us that we love and want to keep safe. I know I have to wear a mask right now when I leave my room, or if I'm not in my room or across the hall in the bathroom, I have to wear a mask at home because my school has asked that I self-quarantine as best I can for 2 weeks before I move in. I'm filming this literally a week before I move in, so it's kind of scary. I'm a week into my self-quarantine, thank goodness, but it's still kind of scary to have to do that. And there's people out there who would prefer to not go out with a mask on and not social distance and not wash their hands and all that kind of stuff. It's frightening to me that people just wouldn't care enough about other people in their communities to do that. People say, oh, masks, they limit your oxygen, and I can't do that. I need to have all the oxygen I can have. And let me just tell you, as someone who has seen videos of doctors wearing 3 or 4 or 5 masks and whatever else they need to wear to keep themselves safe on the job, while also wearing a pulse oximeter, and their oxygen levels at 99 or 100%, that just shows me that no, the mask is fine. It's not going to limit your oxygen. And I also have severe asthma, and if I can wear a mask and not have an asthma attack, I think people without asthma can wear a mask and be perfectly fine. I really do. It's not ridiculous of me to ask you to wear a mask. It's just not. It shows that you care about those in your community who have compromised immune systems and would likely be very, very unwell for a very, very long time if they got COVID. You're saying, I don't want to give you that. When you put the mask on, you're like, oh, well, if I have it, I don't want you to get it because I have it. That's what you're saying when you wear a mask. And I don't think we would wish, an illness upon anyone. That's just kind of ridiculous. If you would wish, an illness or bodily harm on someone, that's kind of sad of you to do that. But when you don't wear a mask, that's exactly what you're doing. You're saying, oh, if I have COVID and you get it from me, I don't care. Go lay in a hospital bed for weeks and weeks and have a ventilator shoved down your throat. I don't care. That's what you say when you don't wear a mask. I think Dr. Fauci said it best when he said, I don't know how to explain it to you that you should care for other people. And I don't know how to explain it either. I mean, obviously I have a lot less life experience than he does and a lot less experience dealing with medical field and people in general, but I'm going to try, I guess, to explain it. And I'm reading because I typed this up beforehand so that I could, get my thoughts together, because I'm not just like I can't just like word at a camera and be fun. I have to think and reflect on what I want to say, and I write it out and all that. So I'm going to try to explain it. Imagine for a moment that nearly all of your control of your life has been taken away from you. Nearly everything you do, go walk the dog, go to class, go to work, go get gas in the car, go get groceries. All of that could be the thing that causes you to get sick and die, or be put on a ventilator, survive, and have very serious health consequences for the rest of your life. Imagine it. I'm serious. Take a minute, pause the video if you need to, and imagine it, because that's exactly what is going on right now in my life and the lives of every person who's at risk in this country and around the world. Everyone who's elderly or in a compromised situation with their immune system or has other chronic illnesses, they're all fearful of every single little activity they do on their daily basis, and that's upsetting and sad. If you know me, you know I love to control my life and like what I do. In high school, I started looking for a college my first year, and I gave myself a 4-year plan, and I said, all right, these are the things I want to do before I go to college, and I did them. And then when I got to college, I have made 3 4-year plans to see which majors I could get, which minors I could get, which would interest me the most, and what classes I'd have to take every semester. And I did all of that 3 times. And I've finally gotten to the point where, you know, I'm going to be graduating in May, and I'm happy with my degree choices. But to get there, I had to, you know, control which classes I took and all that kind of stuff. So I like to control that part of my life, and I can't do that now. I can't make a plan and be like, all right, on this day, I'm going to go here and then here and then here to get my groceries, and then I'm going to come back to school and I'm going to do my laundry and put all my groceries away, and then I'll start my homework. I can't do that now. I can't, because I can't go from one store to the next, because what if I get exposed somewhere and then I can't trace, it's harder for me to trace to where I pick something up, or, you know, what if someone coughs on, you know, a bag of, I don't know, almond flour, and I touch it and then I don't wash my hands after I put it away, and I brush my face, or I, you know, sneeze, and when I blow my nose or whatever, I breathe in but right before with the tissue up to my face, and I get, you know, germs from my hand into my nose. You know, I'm scared to do anything that is not in this room right now, because this is where I have been since the pandemic started. I've left this room and my house, well, not together. I've left my house probably less than 10 times this entire summer. And yeah, I would normally love to go visit friends and go to the beach if I could, you know, that kind of stuff. And in fact, I did have those types of plans, but I had to cancel them. And, you know, changing plans last minute is not something that someone who likes to control, you know, the stuff that they do in their everyday life likes to do. I don't like to say, oh, I want to do this, but I can't. Because I had already planned for it, and I had already, you know, probably made a packing list way too early, and was probably already thinking, okay, well, I need to have all of these things on my packing list ready to be packed by this date, so I need to get all my laundry done before then. And I had already started making those kinds of plans, and I couldn't go, or I couldn't do the thing, and all that kind of stuff. I couldn't do it because of the pandemic, and I'm very glad I didn't go because of the pandemic, but it sucks. And I know there are people out there who have it a lot worse than I do. This isn't me trying to be like, oh my god, I didn't get to go on vacation. This is more serious than that. On a slightly different but related note, universities aren't doing the best right now either for their students. I know personally my university has given us the option of taking all of our classes online and staying home and just doing digital classes this semester. But there's another deadline that needs to be taken into consideration here, because the deadline to register for that option is August 10th for us. For even more transparency, I move in on August 13th. So if I decide to go to classes and live on campus, which I plan on doing, so I'm supposed to move in on August 13th. The deadline to say if you're going to stay home and do online classes is August 10th. But next week, there are some classes that are going to be going digital from campus. So I could, if I have, classes that are in person, I can move into campus housing, and then take some of those classes online from campus, which is what I would love to be able to do. But that gets updated next week. So where's my time frame to be able to pause and make such a large decision that will affect the price I pay for university this semester, especially since I've already gotten loans to cover, on-campus housing and all of that stuff. Like, where is the consideration for making hard decisions? That's something I don't understand, why they couldn't push some of those deadlines a couple weeks back and already have the class schedule made and say, all right, these are online, these are in person, there you go. Do you like that? Yes or no? Here's this other option, we'll give you some time to think about that. And yes, I know most of my other classmates move in at the end of this month, and I move in next week. There's a large gap there. But shouldn't me, as someone who gets to move in early, it's a privilege for me to get to move in early, and it's a requirement for my job, shouldn't that be taken into consideration? Shouldn't the first batch of students be the markers for when deadlines need to be? Because it's just kind of ridiculous to me to say, oh, well, you're going to have, a few days to make this decision that is super, super, changing in everything that you do. It's just hard. I know a lot of colleges haven't had the opportunity to learn from past mistakes about this, and they don't know how we need to be talked to because they've never had to talk to us like this before. But it's messy, and I feel like neither my university nor my government care about me, and why should my life matter any less than anyone else's when I could be someone who dies from a disease that because of their actions I could be exposed to, the lack of empathy that I see from a lot of people in this country is astounding. I am a 21-year-old, but I feel like I have more emotional maturity than a lot of people older than me. And that, I can show people that I'm trying to keep myself and others safe by staying home and not contributing to this pandemic. But there is a lot of LA YouTubers out there who are going to parties all the time and spreading COVID around and making this pandemic literally so much worse. And they're making it worse and they don't care at all. I digress from that, but just aside from other people my age, adults don't seem to care. I mentioned the president earlier, and I saw an interview he did with someone recently, where he had graphs that showed that we were doing the best, and we are not. So people are feeding him information to make him believe or support his opinion that we are the best and that we're doing the best with this pandemic, but we're really not. We're not. And no one wants to, be the one to tell the president, oh, we're doing badly and it's your fault. No one wants to say that. So you know what? Dear Mr. President, hi, one of your constituents here, I guess. You messed up big time, and you're putting my life and the lives of many other people at risk because of it, and we could all die because of it. Do you want blood on your hands, sir? This is your fault. If anything I say sticks with you from this video, let it be this. Please wash your hands as often as you can. Social distance, 6 feet between each person that does not live in your immediate household. And please wear a mask. Those things alone would make me and so many other people so much less anxious about, well, what's going to happen to me in a week. Because honestly, I don't know at this point. And a lot of other people don't know either. They're just kind of concerned and worried and scared, and being anxious is not something that's good for your long-term health. So yeah, please just be considerate of others, especially those whose situations you don't know. Because if you didn't look at me, if you didn't know me personally, and you were just to see me on the street walking around, you wouldn't know that I'm chronically ill. I don't look it, I look like a happy, healthy 21-year-old, and I, for the most part, am, but I'm also very chronically ill, and a lot of other people are too. So when you wear your mask, say, I'm protecting those who can't protect themselves because their body just won't do it. So please, for all that is good in the world, please wear your mask. Alright, so I know that was really heavy, but that's today's video. Again, I just kind of sort of made it so I could look back in the future and be like, oh, that's what I was thinking and feeling and all that kind of stuff. So if you're here, thank you for watching. But no worries if you didn't. But if you didn't, you wouldn't even be seeing this, because then you're not watching the video, and it's fine. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you want to learn more about diabetes from a patient perspective, please subscribe below. Again, all of the sources that I got my information from today are down below. I will see you guys in the next couple of weeks. Stay safe, guys. Bye.